Ever wondered how your favorite cheese is made? I mean, it's pretty magical, right? You start with plain old milk, a staple since the dawn of mammals, and somehow through a blend of science and culinary art, you end up with cheese. That's right, folks. Today we're taking a deep dive into the fascinating process of cheese making. We're going to break down the entire transformation from the simplest ingredients to the complex flavors that make each cheese unique. Get ready for some serious curd nerdiness because we're about to unlock the secrets behind this dairy delight. Our cheesy adventure begins with milk, the very foundation of any good cheese, but plain old milk isn't going to cut it. We need to introduce a bit of controlled chaos, a touch of the wild side. That's where our microscopic friends, the bacteria, come in. These tiny powerhouses are the unsung heroes of cheese making, diligently working behind the scenes to transform lactose, the sugar in milk, into lactic acid. This process, known as acidification, is what gives cheese its characteristic tang and sets the stage for the magical transformation to come. Think of it like this: the bacteria are throwing a party in the milk, and lactic acid is their way of getting the good times rolling. As the pH drops, the milk begins to sour, creating the perfect environment for the next crucial step in our cheesy journey. Now that our bacteria buddies have done their part, it's time to introduce another key player, rennet. Rennet, traditionally derived from the stomach lining of calves, contains an enzyme called chymosin, which has a very special talent. It acts like a molecular matchmaker, bringing together the casein proteins in milk, causing them to clump together. Picture a microscopic square dance with casein proteins swirling around until chymosin steps in and says, "All right, everyone pair up." These casein pairs then link arms with other pairs, forming larger and larger clusters, and voila! What was once liquid milk begins to morph into a solid mass, a process known as coagulation. It's like magic, but with a scientific explanation that's equally as fascinating. Chapter 3. Separation, Anxiety, Curds and Whey Part Ways. Remember that solid mass we ended up with after coagulation? Well, that, my friends, is where curds and whey come into play. As the casein proteins continue their molecular dance party, they squeeze out the liquid portion of the milk, which we call whey. Think of it like a cheese sponge, with the curds being the solid part that holds all the good stuff, and the whey being the liquid that gets squeezed out. Now, whey might sound like a byproduct, but don't let that fool you. It's packed with protein and nutrients, making it a popular ingredient in everything from protein shakes to baked goods. But back to our curds. These little clumps are the real stars of the show, the building blocks of our cheesy masterpiece. Their size and texture can vary depending on the type of cheese we're making, from the small, delicate curds of cottage cheese to the large, rubbery curds of cheddar. Chapter 4. Salt, the flavor maker and master preserver. Now that we've got our curds separated from the whey, it's time to talk about everyone's favorite flavor enhancer, salt. And no, we're not just talking about a sprinkle here and there. Salting is a crucial step in cheese making, serving both as a flavor enhancer and a master preserver. First and foremost, salt brings out the natural sweetness and nuttiness of the cheese, adding depth and complexity to its flavor profile. It's like the seasoning that makes all the other flavors sing, but salt's role goes beyond just tickling our taste buds. It also acts as a natural preservative, inhibiting the growth of unwanted bacteria and ensuring that our cheese ages gracefully. Think of it as a benevolent bodyguard, protecting the cheese from spoilage and allowing its true flavors to develop over time. The amount of salt used can vary depending on the type of cheese, with some cheeses, like feta, being brined in a salty solution for an extra flavor punch. Chapter 5. Shaping up from blob to block to wheel. Our curds are salted and ready for their final transformation shaping. This is where each cheese takes on its familiar form, whether it's a solid block, a crumbly wedge, or a majestic wheel. The shaping process not only gives the cheese its characteristic appearance, but also plays a role in its texture and moisture content. Some cheeses, like cheddar, are pressed into molds to create a firm, dense texture, while others, like brie, are allowed to ripen in their natural shape, developing a soft, spreadable interior. It's like sculpting with cheese, with each cheesemaker using their expertise to coax the curds into their final form. And let's not forget about those beautiful patterns and textures on the surface of some cheeses. These are often created using special molds lined with cloth or mats, adding an extra layer of artistry to the cheesemaking process. Outro, that's a wrap. Enjoy the cheesy goodness, and there you have it. The journey from milk to the delicious cheese we all love. Next time you enjoy a slice, you'll know just how much care and science goes into every bite. We've explored the fascinating world of bacteria, witnessed the magic of coagulation, and marveled at the transformation from curds and whey to a solid block of cheesy goodness. But most importantly, we've gained a newfound appreciation for the artistry and passion that goes into crafting this beloved food. So go forth, my fellow cheese enthusiasts, and savor every bite.